My name is Tasha Green, and I'm the program director and associate professor, and this is Pamela Caesar. She's also a faculty member in the HIM program. So technology in HIM, we have several classes that we implemented and started to use more technology. Fundamentals of HIM, quality performance and statistics, our directed clinical practice, and in our medical reimbursement class. We wanted to have some specific outcomes as it relates to what we do. We wanted to motivate ourselves and other faculty to use more technology, as well as motivate our students to use technology. We also wanted to improve some of our learning outcomes and look at ways that we can improve learning within our classrooms by using technology. We also recognize that our industry is changing. We wanted to use technology as it relates to health information management and health IT. Because our industry is changing, we know that we need to embrace more technology in our educational facilities.
Okay, for the first one that we've used is the teacher's kit. We team teach this class. It's HIM, one of our higher level courses, HIM 2510. And with the teacher's kit, we actually built into this. Even though we do take attendance in the Blackboard system, we just thought that this was a better way of getting our information as quickly as we want to. So we've taken the students' pictures and we take a class attendance 2 times a week when we have our class. Also, what we do is monitor them in the grade book. We can do that from time to time, and this is a quick recall to share with them if they want to come in and see what exactly is happening. And what we've done is also use Quizlet. What we found is using Quizlet give the students a quick recall. Normally our exams are set mainly in multiple choice questions, and with using Quizlet, they've got all the options there. So with the options, we found the best way to test the students, whether for past lectures or within a real-time lecture, we actually use the Quizlet and use flashcards, which I'll take you to. With the Quizlet, you've got the question types with a written matching, I'm half blind. Written matching, multiple choice, or true and false. We found that using the flashcards was a very good way in a quick test for the students. Quick recall. They hated it. Oh yes. When we introduced, actually we told them at the beginning of the semester, look, we have to infuse technology into classroom. And in doing this, we're going to have several methods of approach in doing this, not only with the presentation or lectures, we're going to do it with quizzes and everything. So for them it was like, okay, we already do quizzes and all that kind of stuff with them, so it's not going to be anything new. So when they actually see this format, it was like, oh no, Miss Caesar, this is unfair. You can't give us these quizzes, and expect us to know the answers. Yes, it's recall, remember? You have to be able to apply concept and application and do quick recalls. So once I put them through, they sign in and they have to do this. It actually times them as well. So they can see the speed in which they can actually do the work. What some of them have done is moved on after the first experience, realized that, wait a minute, this is a good way for me to study. So they apply themselves and build their own quiz for each lecture, and this is how they monitor themselves. And they were anxious to come back to share with us as to, oh, we thought it was so hard, it was unfair. We're sorry for what we said in class. You can do the flip, because there are motions here that tells you how you want to release the questions as well as whether you want it with audio or not. Once I have them doing them, then they will not use the audio, because sometimes that can be, if I have them just looking at the screen and working through it, it's one thing. If I have them doing it at their PCs, it's another. So we've got different ways we can apply that. Okay. Other than using the flashcards, this is another one that we use a lot with them, because it's recall again and applying concepts and applications from the lecture. And it's actually a game, but it's timed and it helps them to really test whether they know the work or not. Multiple choice, give them the answers and they have a chance to select. You do specific recall. See, there's a timer and these are the questions here and the matching answers. And they kind of drag them in. Patient address, they have to know the information, if not, it keeps bumping out. Once you have the correct answer, then everything will clear the screen. And it really works well for them. The last one that I will talk about here is explain everything. And with explain everything, I find it very, very helpful. So, what I found with this app is the fact that there are some similarities here, like the smartboard in the classroom. You can actually erase. If I choose to write a note while the students are here, at this point, I can actually write a note. And this here image, it symbolizes team building. So I can actually write team building here. Okay, and then I can go back and I can erase it. And I can make my points as I go along. And if they want to capture that, they can capture it. All right? So that's one thing. I can add colors to it as I go along as well. And also, I can add more slides. If students want to actually tell something that they understand or ask a question and we want to emphasize at a particular slide, we can go ahead and do that as well. And do inserts as we go along. Added to that, you can also do recording along with using this app while the lecture is going on. So I find that very, very important. Ms. Green has been utilizing this a lot because her courses that she teaches as well are very instructive in the sense that you use a lot of mathematical processes with what she does with some of her courses as well. Export images, you can have PDF and iBooks, as well as YouTube. Yes.
And you can use the Evernote, we use that, and also Dropbox, we use to save some files.
Yeah, we save the files in Dropbox because they get used sometimes. Some of these lecture materials are really large, so we save it in Dropbox.
Of course. And Prezi is also what we're using. I downloaded the app onto the iPad. So the next thing we want to talk about is some professional applications that we are able to use in our courses. Find a Code, Dr. Cron EHR, Dragon Dictation, and Health Data Management. Students were like, oh my gosh, we have to pay all this money for books. So what we did was, we did purchase some books to go in our lab, but I found an app that I shared with them from the iPad called Find a Code. So Find a Code helps them not have to be able to carry the ICD-10 CM coding book, the ICD-10 PCS coding book, the ICD-9 coding book. They can all find the codes that they need right here in this app. And it's outlined in the same area, the way the books and the textbooks are set up: infectious and parasitic diseases, neoplasms, endocrine. And then when you go in here and you see, for example, diseases of the circulatory system, it pulls up the diseases and the code range that the medical coder would have to code right there next to it. So ischemic heart disease, and it pulls up 410, which is the code for ischemic heart myocardial infarction, and you click on myocardial infarction, and it breaks down the code even more into more specificity. The other app that I showed them was Dragon, and they loved this, Ed, thank you so much, because it taught them, we were teaching a lesson on natural language processing and how natural language processing is put into action with our computer-assisted coding software, and which is done by 3M. Now, we have the 3M product in our classroom, in our lab. However, we don't have the most up-to-date one that has computer-assisted coding. But when they went on clinical, they were able to see computer-assisted coding in action, and then they were able to understand natural language processing. I walked around, and this is just an example of what I did. I said, what is natural language processing, China? And she said, oh, natural language processing is the action between computers and human and language. And this is us having dialect together about natural language processing. My first app that I found, I was so excited, was this app. Because my dean, Angela Anderson, has challenged me to find electronic health record system that is free. Right? So I told her, I gave her a quote of one. I said it was, it was a lot of money. So I found one, and she said, we just got this note. So now we have a challenge, Tasha. You need to help me find something that's more affordable. So I went on the app and I found this one, and I'm working with the vendor on the original iPad EHR, and it tells me that I can have a custom EHR built for my specificity, the most comprehensive EHR, and it's original to the iPad. It will help me do automated billing that I need to use for my medical reimbursement class, and we can do it in the classroom. And I've actually been playing with it a little bit. You can personalize your remittance advice, real-time claim reporting, and accept payments anywhere. So we're playing with it as if we have our own healthcare facility in our lab, and we're going to be using it probably more so in the fall. But it's just something that I found, and I was so excited. And then the mobile app part. So you can set yourself up as if you're your own facility. The thing that I'm going to show you is health data management. Put it up the right way, excuse me. Okay, so this is more of a resource that we use in our class. Our EHR is up to the fight. So we found that utilizing the resources that are available, downloading them onto our app, helps us to be able to pull up not only as a resource but for us, but to encourage the students to pull up these journals and articles to read for themselves. So this talks about the Ebola situation, and there's an article in here